Welcome everybody to today's weekly town hall meeting, September 5th, 2023. Today's agenda, project development updates, marketing updates, and we do have collaborations. Robinson, start us off with project and development updates, please.
Thank you, Kelly. Let's begin with our engineering metrics status. So, as a recap, we use the DORA metrics to track our progress and our the developer productivity. So, over the last couple of weeks, our focus was primarily around getting the initial release of Toto, and from our metrics, we can see that over the last 2 weeks, our commit times or the release times have increased a little bit, and the throughput is also pretty close to what we had over our slow time periods. But the deployment frequency, this is little incorrect because the deployment frequency was higher, and so was the change failure rate. So what has happened over the last 2 weeks is that we were attempting to have a soft launch of Toto, which we successfully completed, and then following that we had lots of small hot fixes. So the deployment frequency as well as the change failure rate, this was actually pretty high, because we had a few deployments which was not done through releases. But even then, we can see that it is around 3 deployments per week. And moving on to the change failure rate, this also was higher than what we have here. I think we might have had at least 5-6 failures in the production, and we kept on doing the hot fixes. That is why the deployment frequency is very high. So in a nutshell, even though the metrics, the commits and throughputs are on the lower side, we achieved a lot, and that's what this deployment frequency is showing us. Now let's move on to individual product updates. Starting with the graphene-based chain, Peerplays once update. So as I had indicated the previous weeks, we had figured out certain scenarios which we were anticipating only at a later date, primarily to do with Ethereum Suns. So we addressed that issue, and the code is currently under testing. The mainnet releases will happen in the second half of this month, because we have other products getting released, and because of that we are pushing it a little further. And by this, hopefully, I think we don't have any more fixes which is targeted at this release. So the upcoming release is going to be 1.6.0, and hopefully there's not going to be any more changes to be bundled in. And the next steps for Peerplays one is that we have to provide some upgrades for Bitcoin, and also there is a new update from Bitcoin, as well as a few critical bugs are addressed in Bitcoin. So once the mainnet release is completed, we plan to work on those aspects and address them, primarily to do with Bitcoin. So that's updates on Peerplays 1. Moving on to Peerplays 2, we had lots of activity here. So alongside with our first private deployment, we were trying various scenarios like import, export, backup, etc., of which the backup restore is working as suspected, and all the chain functionality, which is like generation of the blocks, finalizing the blocks, etc., are working as expected. And we also had a few unplanned scenarios which proved the chain to be pretty resilient. So we had one little nasty scenario where one of the physical servers where we had majority of our nodes were running. Not majority, four of the blocks were running. Four of the validator nodes were running. It was hard reported by the provider. I think like old school Windows 95 days, I believe. Anyway, this we were expecting we had to probably restore the chain, but luckily we managed to survive it. So in general, the chain itself looks pretty resilient. It was indicated earlier. We have a few areas like import export, which is not uh, which needs future enhancements, and also the challenges with respect to RocksDB and its storage. So those items are yet to be addressed. And in terms of actual work, we have been upgrading the substrate version to meet the latest, which is pretty much completed. And on the consensus side, we are working on an implementation of node selection mechanism. So this is to identify active nodes which will produce blocks. So we're using Ghostic protocol and certain palettes available which uses the same protocol to identify the active nodes, and these active nodes will eventually be considered for block production. So we first thought of designing it, but there were like too many unknowns, especially with respect to the performance of the heartbeats. So we have decided to do a small proof of concept, and that's under uh, testing right now. So once we have more clarity on how to identify these active nodes, we'll go back to the consensus design. That's Peerplays 2. Now moving on to Toto. So I think the first and foremost, I wanted to thank all the developers, DevOps, infrastructure team, and everybody for a great work. So over a period of last couple of weeks, we were huddled on long calls and attempting to complete the integration. And there were some of these calls were like exceptionally long, and obviously with a decentralized or distributed team, we had people in multiple continents working on it. So really appreciate everybody who came together to make this success. So we have our initial general availability release of Toto available, and it's deployed on the URL app.use.toto.com. The corresponding version is MVP 6.2. So the current status is that we have so we had a large list of integrations, uh, including OpenAI, AI, and some of the unusual integrations like an ability to send physical letters, and usual suspects like payment gateways and emails, image storage, etc. Plus a private chain deployment for Peerplays too. So this was a pretty challenging one because we had to design the infrastructure in a secure manner, and this is dedicated bare metal environment as opposed to a cloud. So we had to simulate certain aspects like what's available from cloud providers like security groups, VLANs, etc. And we also had some challenges like our blockchain connectivity, which was initially done from the front end. We had to move it to the back end. So introduce some session based magic to GraphQL for handling Postgrid. Postgrid is an API which sends physical letters. And anyway, in a nutshell, we have successfully managed to complete all these integrations, and it's tested end to end. I believe the application is working quite well, except for various corner cases like uh, the behavior on the smaller devices like iPhone 12 mini needs to be tackled. And currently, the focus is only for mobile browsers. So we are also working on desktop browsers. So in a nutshell, we have the general availability release available, and it's open to the world. So we had multiple iterations over a period of last 2 weeks following our soft launch. I think the most challenging one was this letter sending API Postgrid, which had nuisances like verifying the correct addresses uh, and various other challenges. So that had taken us a lot of time. Uh, and Yeah, and on the infrastructure side, the infrastructure kind of blocks all the unwanted connections, pretty similar to what is available with security groups from AWS. So we only have the HTTP connection going into the infra, and everything else is within a secure secure perimeter. So that's Toto, and once again, appreciate everyone's hard work to get this reality. Thank you so much. That's all from us.
Robinson. Now we're on to marketing and content updates. That'll consist of Together, the community, website statistics, and graphics and branding. I'll take it over to Oksana.
And hello, everyone. We are pleased to report that our continued effort in website optimization have shown significant improvements in performance. The enhancements made have positively impacted both the website's graphical and functional aspects. We're going through the massive optimization currently and working hard in improving our visual and web optimization. Also, our team has been diligently working on Peerplays YouTube channel with a focus on research and content planning. We're actively exploring options and compiling list of influential figures within the crypto and blockchain space to collaborate with. This will lay the groundwork for our future content strategy. Next slide, please. We are currently in the process of creating a comprehensive branding guideline. This essential document will serve as a reference point to ensure consistency across of all our design and visual elements, and this project is big and ongoing currently. While adhering to our brand guidelines, we are experimenting with the new design elements and evolve the brand visual language. This creative exploration aims to keep our brand fresh and appealing to our audience. Next slide, Kelly, please. So, and we have initiated the process of polishing our website further. This including updating website graphics and incorporating new elements and illustrations to maintain a fresh and modern appearance. Overall, our team remains committed to enhancing our online presence, delivering engaging content, and maintaining a strong and consistent brand image. We look forward to the continuing progress and success of this initiative in the coming months. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oksana. All right, now we're on to collaboration updates. Jonathan, take it away.
Good day, everybody. These are the collaboration updates for Peerplays for this past few weeks. Working with the Government Blockchain Association. So there's a couple of things that have happened here. We have been continuing with our effort with the Decentralized ID group. For those who don't know, we've been working with preparing standards that would go into the blockchain maturity model in regards to decentralized ID. We've continued to make contributions to that, so that it would incorporate elements of Peerplays. But aside from that, we've also began the gaming group, which is going to provide standards in gaming to the blockchain maturity model. And we are co-leads in that group now, and we'll be heading up those meetings starting hopefully this week. We are still kind of trying to wrangle together the group members so that we can kick off the meetings. But we've had preliminary calls with the leadership to get that underway. We're pretty confident that it's going to move faster than the decentralized ID group. The decentralized ID group is a little different. It's got a lot of different people who are involved who have different kinds of agendas when it comes to ID. So it's interesting how all these different elements from everywhere are contributing to make sure that we come out with a good standard. But with the gaming group, there's a much clearer understanding of what's going to be needed for that. And of course, all the work that we've been doing, the Gaming Benefits Corporation is going to help with that, because that's given us a lot of insight into the regulatory space. And with that, moving on to the gaming sector with the Gaming Benefits Corporation and the regulatory gaming dashboard, which we've been working with, that utilizes Peerplays. We've continued to work on that, and it's we've got a really good version that's available now that they are starting to showcase. They're planning on attending G2E and are expected to be among the first actual blockchain entries into that type of an event. For those who don't know, G2E is the one of the biggest gaming events in the year, like where gaming vendors come together. And so they will be showcasing not only the dashboard, which utilizes Peerplays, but there is also going to be a presence from Peerplays developers who are going to be attending that conference. And they also plan to be showcasing Toto. So with that will be interesting. That's going to be in the primarily the American market, but Toto right now is meant for Canada only at the moment. But with that, the expectation is that Toto is going to help to what that will do is basically help us with starting to get interest within that space, primarily within the gaming space, and the need for being able to propose and bring forward regulatory changes to the gaming sector is something that Toto would be able to do. So they are looking at doing that. That's coming up in October. And so that's another exciting development. And those are the primary collaboration updates. As far as dedicated team updates, we have no changes to the team, so no updates there. Thank you very much.
There was no questions, comments, or thoughts that came in from the community. So that concludes today's weekly town hall meeting, September 5th, 2023. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. It'll be back to the Monday. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.